Let me ask you something as maybe kind of a hypothetical. In theory, if your local school, let's say an elementary or a high school, decided they wanted to offer, make available a satanic club on campus, it was going to be meeting in a school classroom, and that one of the teachers would be or a faculty member would be the chaperone or the on-site um, sponsor for that club. How would you react to that email, or your kid bringing a flyer home, let's say, of some kind, or if it was listed in the front page or the front section of like their student planner, journal, whatever. If you found out that at the beginning of the school year, how would you react? Um, and I want to approach this from a couple of different kind of strategic directions. One would be a school administrator or a faculty member. You're a faculty member at that school as well. You found out that this is going to be offered at your same school. Or if you were just, you're a student at that school, you found out it was being offered. And if you were a parent and your kid is a student at that school. And then fourth would be you're just a member of the community. You don't have a student currently attending. You may have friends that are directly involved with the school, but you're not one of them, right? All four of those different kind of strategic approaches to this. First would be you're a faculty member, right? You find out your school is offering this. Quite frankly, you probably don't have a lot to say about it, whether you want to or not. You don't have much of a choice because of various legal conditions around it. You just have to put up with a lot as a school administrator, as a school faculty member. You don't have a lot of choices. And so, I mean, if we're all honest, every person that has worked at schools, which includes me, we are aware. Schools do all kinds of stuff you disagree with, and you bite your lip and take it. You just keep your mouth shut because you want to keep your job and your pension. So there's that. Number two would be if you're a student. I was obviously a student at one point, and I've also been connected with a lot of different clubs and organizations, both as a student, as a later youth minister and stuff. And here's my response. If I'm a high school student, I join it. This is from two different perspectives, one of which is that when I was in high school, I was not a Christian, which might shock some of you considering various things, but I was not a Christian, and so I would have had no qualms with joining it. A whole bunch of my friends probably would have joined it together. And then later, as an adult, if I was reflecting on being a Christian as a student on that campus, I would probably still at least go to its opening ceremony, its first kind of launch party, and see what it's about, see what's going on. Like, because I'm not one to accept the testimony of others, to just kind of go on their word about stuff. I want to see. So if people are going to be telling me that they're sacrificing black cats on Halloweens and Friday the 13th, I want to see this for myself. I don't want to just hear someone else make these accusations. Does that make sense? And so the next thing is, so yeah, I would definitely join it, 100%. And if I was a member, like I'm a parent, and my kids are going, I'm probably going to take a position, a posture towards that of mind your own business. If my kids are upset about it, or if, let's say, my spouse is upset about it, or other parents that I know that are also have students attending the school are upset about it, my posture towards them, my advice to them will be, mind your own business. It's none of your concern. And that comes from a couple of different directions of I've been involved with on-site student organizations, on-campus student organizations for years. It's just a standard operating procedure everywhere to have Chi Alpha and Young Life and Young Lives and just Campus Crusade for Christ and Youth for Christ and all these that already have established organizations that meet regularly. And all of those probably meet at the same time in a state like mine, which is a conservative one. Get down to like Texas, Oklahoma, they probably have open prayer in every high school, every whatever morning, every Wednesday morning, every whatever, because that's where things like See You at the Pole started. So the only complaints that you could make against that satanic or Satanist club would cut your own legs out from under you. Because any rule against such a thing would also invalidate any religious camp. And so I would say just leave well enough alone. In fact, what I would probably try to do is start doing outreach with them. If they're going to do anything, I'm going to ask to team up with them so that they can see us in action as much as us see them in action, and see what we can learn from each other. Because I guarantee it, I'm willing to guarantee it, most of the kids that would join a satanic club are probably washouts from local ministries anyway. Their parents are Bible-carrying Bible thumpers, probably. Because that's kind of the stereotype, but I'm willing to flex that it's probably more true than false at whatever your school is that's instituting this. So you probably will recognize a lot of them, and you'll probably have a decent established rapport. They'll know who you are too. Flex on that. See where it can take you. See what happens and develops. And the last is that if you're a member of the community, but you aren't directly involved with that student campus in any way, you don't have kids going there, you don't have grandkids going there, whatever, again, my response is, mind your own business. It's none of your concern. It's like 2 or 3 separate levels of not your concern at that point. Leave it alone. And you might say, well, this is democracy, this is, like, you can try to throw a bunch of political stuff in there, but again, anything you do to try to protest or complain about this is only going to cut your own legs out from under you, that eliminate the ability of Youth for Christ, Young Lives, Young Life, and Wildlife, and Campus Crusade, like just whatever. It's going to cut the ability of those things. It's going to trim their foundations too. So just leave it alone. And a lot of the times, it's really just kind of a publicity stunt. And if you don't give them what they want, they'll wither on the vine.